Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the M38 Travel Backpack from Minimal, which is a new player in the one bag travel category. This is designed to be the ultimate travel bag for digital nomads, so not just something that can carry your stuff while you're on the go, but that can also function as a mobile workstation. The feature set on this really impressed me when I first saw the specs and the designs. I've had a chance to check out a pre-production unit for a while now, and it feels like the company did a lot of research on some of the issues that people had with travel bags on the market these days and tried to address many of those things. In addition to the backpack, they've also come out with their own ecosystem of accessories, so some packing cubes and a Dopp kit that can pair well with this. So I've been really excited as I've been testing this system out for a while that I can finally share it here on the channel. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the name of the brand really says it all. This definitely has a minimal style, which I am a big fan of. Reminds me of bags from companies like Bellroy, Evergoods, Manal, so definitely going to blend in well into a lot of different environments. It does have some attachment points and pockets and handles, but in general, it's a very subdued appearance, which I'm a big fan of when traveling, as it doesn't draw a ton of attention to you, and it's not only gonna work well for traveling, but also as you're exploring a more urban setting. As far as the materials, the bag feels very solidly built. This exterior fabric is an 840D ballistic nylon that feels like it's gonna hold up very well to the rigors of travel. I've had a chance to beat this up over the past couple of months and it's in great shape. Haven't had any issues at all. It's got a polycarbonate coating. It's gonna offer plenty of weather resistance. And then one of the things the company really prioritized was the weight and keeping this as light as possible. So if you're traveling overseas on airlines with stricter limits, that's going to be really helpful. It comes in at under 4 pounds, which is impressive for a bag of this size and with the padding and features that it has. It's not the lightest travel bag on the market, but it feels like they struck a good balance of giving you rugged materials and all the other things that you would want out of a travel bag without going overboard on the weight. So really great job there. And then beyond that, you just have very high quality hardware and materials all throughout, Woojin buckles, and then very smooth working and reliable lockable YKK zippers. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you do have one external water bottle pocket that'll be able to handle the 20-ounce water bottle that I typically like to use. It's got this nice durable feeling elastic material here. It does expand outwardly, but if you want to place a larger water bottle in here, it's going to start to get tight and push into the main compartment. So that's something that you'll have to balance with whatever you want to pack on the inside, but still great to see the depth that this offers, and then it's easy to get my water bottle out. And because of that elasticity, when the pocket's not in use, it stays pretty close to the bag to maintain a more streamlined look. On both sides of the bag, you have a couple of attachment points that you can pair with compression straps that weren't included with my unit of the bag, but that's always nice on a travel bag if you want to have some additional flexibility to attach some items on the outside or to just compress the bag down when it's not as full. And then you have really nice handles on the side and at the top. And so I like the implementation here. Both of these have plenty of padding, so they're very comfortable to hold even when the bag's a little bit more packed out. They feel reinforced. And so if you're carrying this in briefcase mode, it's gonna be really nice. And then at the top, you have a handle with a similar style, but one of the unique things here is that the handle actually magnetizes to the bag. I think this is a really unique idea. So you can pull this out when you need to use it and then attach it when you're wearing the bag. So that's gonna prevent it from falling into your neck, causing any sort of discomfort, and will just help maintain a cleaner look. One note with this handle is that the magnets on the pre-production unit that I have here in the video are going to be a little bit different than what's on the production version. They have been updated, but you'll still have this functionality, which I think is really cool. On the branding front, as you would hope, given the name of the company, things are pretty minimal. You just have the blacked out logo on the front, down near the bottom, pretty small, and then on the side as well. So I like that that's not super prominent. And then the last thing that I'll call out while we're on the exterior is that the bag does manage to stand up pretty well on its own, particularly when it's loaded out. It has a pretty wide, flat bottom, so you can place this down next to you, reach down into the compartments when you need to. Now the structure of the bag isn't super rigid, so once it starts to get emptier and the weight is shifting, it might start to tip over, but in general, with the way that I typically had it loaded out, it worked well. As far as the capacity, the bag comes in at about 38 liters. That volume is distributed across a couple of different areas on the bag. The main compartment is listed at around 32 liters, but the volume can kind of shift depending on how you pack everything out. In general, with this space, I was able to carry most of the items that I would typically want to have with me on a 1 to 2 week trip pretty comfortably. And this is a size that I'm comfortable taking onto a variety of domestic and international airlines. 40 liters and below is kind of my guideline. With that size range, I've never had any issues carrying a bag on, placing it into the overhead storage compartment. And I like that because this bag doesn't have a super rigid shape and it has a pretty sleek silhouette, even when it's a little bit more packed out, it never feels overwhelmingly bulky, and is something that's not only going to be great for traveling, but that's also going to be very easy to use for navigating crowded areas and jumping onto public transit. Moving into the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. This is definitely the type of harness that I really like using. The padding that's been included here feels robust, but very soft and comfortable on the inside. You have this breathable pattern here, and the straps have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. I know some people won't be crazy about the fact that there's no load lifters at the top, but for me, I actually prefer it. I like that they left them off. It's cleaner. I don't feel like they're necessary, even though this is a little bit of a larger bag. I haven't had any issues. And then you have a magnetic buckle on the sternum strap, which you can also adjust. This is going to be great for helping to distribute the weight. And at the bottom on this unit that I have, you do have the ability to add a waist belt. This is going to change a little bit on the production unit. You'll still have the ability to add and remove a waist belt, but it's going to be a style that kind of tucks away behind the lower back of the bag, which I think works well. It'll actually, I believe, be better integrated and help support the weight of the bag better. It's going to pull that weight off of your shoulders. So, it's great to see that the bag has been iterated on even before it's been released, and so it won't have these little buckles here. Different style, but you'll have that ability. I like that you can actually still remove the waist belt, as I would probably not use it with this bag. And then the back panel has also felt great. I absolutely love this padding. It's even thicker than the one that was on the straps. Very soft, well distributed throughout the back, the same sort of patterning. It's also elevated, so you have this air channel here in the middle to give you ventilation while you're walking around throughout the day. And on the back, you also have a luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. This is really where you start to see that mobile workstation aspect. So on the front, you have an excellent quick access pocket. I absolutely love the implementation here. I'm always a fan of these deep, spacious quick access pockets when you're traveling. It's just so convenient to just be able to reach in and grab those items that you need most regularly and have this not be a super tight spot. And so plenty of volume here. I believe this is listed at 4 liters, so you can really hold a ton of stuff in this quick access pocket. You can also get a preview of that bright lining to give you some additional visibility. And so at the moment, I actually have my Apple AirPods Max in here just to showcase the space that this offers. You can slide those in there. I know there's a couple of different styles of headphones, some Sonys and others that have this similar style. I typically use Beats, but I felt like these just slid in there so perfectly, and then would have had space for pouches, toiletries, a jacket. At the moment, I also have my sunglasses with their case. And then on the inside, you have a little bit of organization. You have kind of a padded sleeve here, which is pretty big. I was able to easily fit my iPad mini with its case, probably fit a larger tablet in there. I like that it does provide some protection. And then next to that, you have a couple of smaller elastic slip pockets. There's actually 2 here, one on top of the other. In this top one, I actually have my AirPods. Those fit in there very comfortably. Got this nice mesh here. And then below that, you have a similarly sized pocket where I actually have a cable to charge my tablet and my phone. And then you also have a lanyard with a nice carabiner here that's gonna be a great spot for your keys or something like a multi-tool or pen. At the back of the bag near the top of the harness, you have 2 hidden compartments, which are gonna be good for anything a little bit more sensitive that you might be carrying. So this might be a good spot to store something like a wallet or documentation that you don't want to be obviously visible. I have a field notes notebook in here, but I could see myself kind of hiding my passport in there since it's close to my back. And then moving into the tech area, you have a whole compartment that opens up flat. This I'm a little more torn on because, as I mentioned in other travel bag videos, I don't end up using this functionality all that much. This isn't the type of thing where I can go through TSA. I'll still have to take my laptop out. I guess it makes it easier to kind of access both sides of the bag. So that's just my personal preference, not a con on the bag by any means. And so starting off on the back with the laptop and tablet sleeves, really like the implementation here. You have this Velcro strap that comes over to help keep the devices in place. You have a dedicated sleeve for your tablet, which will be able to handle a 10 or 11 inch tablet comfortably. This isn't a super padded sleeve, it's more of just a dedicated spot for your device. I actually had mine on the front as opposed to having it here. And then you have the well padded laptop sleeve on the back. And I really like the implementation here because you can see how far this is pulled up off the bottom of the ground. So you can drop your laptop in, it's not gonna make contact. And then this has kind of this silica lining, so it feels very gel-like and soft. So good amount of protection here. This should be able to handle a 15 or 16 inch laptop comfortably. Currently what I have here is my 14 inch MacBook Pro. You can see that there's a leftover space here at the top. So pulling my device out. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside and at that soft material. It's on both sides of the bag. I like that this does come up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, it should be able to fit in there comfortably. And with the amount of padding that's offered here and the fact that it's properly pulled up off the bottom of the ground, it really feels like my device is gonna be very safe while I'm on the go. And then moving to this other admin area, lots of pocketing and organizational options here. It was a little bit overwhelming at first to kind of figure out what should go where. And this definitely has kind of an opinion on how you should organize your stuff or the types of things that should go in different areas. Now, you can kind of adapt it to your style and the items that you need to carry and just not use the ones that you don't need. So again, not a con, but definitely something that I know some people might not be crazy about if you prefer a simpler layout to the internal kind of setup of your bag. And so diving in, first up, you have this large pocket in the front, which I think is really interesting. In the materials that I saw, it seemed like it was perfectly sized for a keyboard. And here I have an Apple keyboard. You can see it fits comfortably. There's a variety of modern slim Bluetooth keyboards that you can probably fit in there very easily. And then on either side of that pocket, you have slipped elastic pockets that offer a good amount of volume for something like your laptop charging brick. And I have the USB-C cable for that brick on the other side. Then above that, you have a series of slip pockets. Not really sure what I would have used these for. I know sometimes there are people who put earplugs here, dongles, maybe some extra batteries for a camera, memory cards. On the other side, you have a single pocket. Here I have an extra set of wired headphones, just as a backup. And then above those, you have some elastic bands. So great for dongles, smaller portable batteries. And at the moment, I just have a USB cable that I like to have with me, multi-port cable. So you have two on this side, one on this side, kind of following that pattern. And then up above, some additional slip pockets. Here you have an elastic mesh pocket that's got a nice amount of space. So it currently fits my Apple Magic Mouse very easily, but this could probably hold a larger mouse. I know some people like those Logitech mice. And then you have one larger band here in the middle. So if you have something taller, it might help secure it, or if not, a thicker cable. And then you have a slip pocket. You can kind of see the battery bank that I have in here slides out a little bit when this is tipped over, because this is an elastic, it's not holding it in place, but not a big deal there. And then next to that, you have a couple of small slots for something like a pen or a stylus, and then some additional elastic band and pocket, which at the moment I'm using for my USB-C dongle for my laptop. And the last pocket here at the top is an additional kind of quick access slip pocket that goes across the top. So this is pretty interesting. Not all the way to the edge, it stops at this point here, but still a nice amount of space for, again, cables. My portable battery would have fit in there probably even more comfortably than where I had it. You can see there, just to get a sense of the size. I just had a retractable USB-C cable. I like having it here near the top because I could just open the top of this compartment up a little bit and reach this compartment quickly. And then the last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment. Before I move into that, I did want to just call out that the zippers on the tech area are actually aqua guarded. I hadn't mentioned that before. And then I do really like the zipper pulls that were used here. I'm always a fan of these that are very easy to grip, super quick to open the bag up whenever you need to, very tactile. And then the tech area and the main compartment have that ability to lock. And so this has a suitcase style opening in the main area, no aqua guard on the compartment here, which I've seen in a lot of travel bags. It makes it easier to open and close this main section. So, as long as it's on the tech area, that's my main concern. Sometimes it's nice to have it on both. So just wanted to mention that. And then suitcase style opening, and you have this spacious main area. Very simple layout, which I always like because it makes it easier to pack the bag out, in my opinion. And so with a bag of this size, I would normally want to have some sort of a packable backpack for when I arrive at my destination, if I don't want to carry this whole thing around. So at the top, that's what I have here. This the Tortuga Day Pack Pro, which is one of the newer packable bags that I've really been enjoying. You can see how flat that gets. Really good padding. I did a whole video on this. If you want to check it out, I just kind of rest it at the top here. But as part of its ecosystem, Minimal has also created their own packable solution. Here in this pocket on the side, I actually have a packable tote that they created in collaboration with Day Owl. And so, this is a packable tote like many others that you can open up. You can pack it into a very small package when you don't want to use it, but then it opens up and you have a very functional tote bag that you can use for groceries, for laundry, for going to the beach. I've actually come to really appreciate the functionality of tote bags. Even though I'm not crazy about the aesthetic, I definitely recognize their utility as a secondary bag to toss into either your travel bag or your daily bag. It's just a great way to add capacity. So really, really cool to see Minimal partnering up with another brand to come out with, very simple but useful tote, very lightweight, just packs away, doesn't take up a ton of space. And then coming back to the main area, you have some compression here to help keep everything in place. This is going to be updated a little bit on the production version of the bag. They've reinforced the stitching a little bit. I haven't had any issues with this system, but great to see. Again, to just give you some additional peace of mind, you have this mesh zipper pocket here. This is not the type of thing that I would use too much, but maybe a good spot for ties or for socks, smaller items that you don't want floating around. Then you have these buckles, kind of help tighten everything down. You have two sizes that you can attach this at, and so these release very easily. On the inside here, I have kind of my typical pack and cube setup. At the top, I have a packable rain jacket. This is the same amount of space that something like my Toms would also take up. And then I have the smaller Peak Design compressible pack and cube, as well as the larger one. And both of those fit in there very, very comfortably. And Minimal actually has their own set of packing cubes that they sent for me to test out, and these work well. They've got a larger one that does have the ability to compress, so you can save some space, and then two smaller ones, so you have a nice variety there to kind of organize your stuff however you see fit. And I have my Peak Design setup that I'm comfortable using, and I try to have the same setup across travel bags so that you can get a sense of how different things will fit depending on the size. But if you don't have a pack and cube setup and you just want some simple, useful cubes that you know are going to work well with this bag, I think these will be nice to use. And Minimal also released a Dopp kit. Nowadays it feels like Dopp kits can also double as tech kits, and so really functional organizational option here. I actually really like this pouch quite a bit. You have a simple handle at the top, zippered pocket on the exterior, nice amount of space here. Then you have a hook that you can hide away on the back. So this is going to be great for when you're at your hotel. You can hang this on a towel rack, and then this opens up flat so that you can easily see everything that's on the inside. You have some elastic slip pockets on one end, so great for maybe some smaller liquids or any other toiletries that you're carrying. Some elastic bands in the middle, great for maybe a toothbrush, smaller razor. Then you have a larger compartment, which is a great spot for the bulkier items that I would have as part of my toiletries, maybe my deodorant, pomade, contact stuff. So really like that it's a simple open compartment here. It doesn't have to complicate, how I'm actually organizing my stuff. And they have this interesting little magnetic flap that drops down to give you another small mesh zippered pocket. So for smaller things like my contacts case, maybe some medicine. So, really nice, useful accessory. Whether you get the travel bag or not, I think this is a compelling Dopp kit alternative. And coming back to the main area, really simple layout, nice bright lining. This is going to be updated a little bit for the production unit of the bag. The fabric is going to be improved. And then in addition to the pocket I showed earlier where you could store the tote bag, you have a couple of zippered pockets on the side. I never really end up using these too much, as they offer a little bit of space, again, for smaller items that you don't want getting lost. Maybe a couple of extra pairs of socks, or I have a deck of playing cards in here, but it might be this type of place where I put something that I don't want easily accessible from the outside. And then if you don't want to use any of these, they just kind of stay out of the way, which is nice. And then on the flap of the bag, you have one additional zippered pocket, which is the perfect spot for that Dopp kit that I was just showing. Here I have the Air Dopp kit, which is the one that I've been using for a long time in these videos. So this fits in here perfectly. Absolutely love that. So this compartment has some volume. You could also use this to maybe separate out a pair of shoes, some dirty clothes, a jacket. Always a fan of these style of pockets to just give you a little bit of flexibility with how you can organize. And then again with this one as well, if you don't want to use it, it just stays out of the way. So really like the layout and space offered in this main area, and just the design throughout the rest of the bag. Everything feels very well thought out, and I really like that the company focused on the things that to me matter the most on a travel backpack, which are the harness system, the laptop protection, the weight, the durability. Really checks off those boxes well. And if you're looking for a one bag travel option that's gonna offer a great build quality that you can wear all day, and that's gonna be able to handle all of your tech items comfortably, then this is gonna be a great option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the M38 Travel Backpack over the past couple of months. You can now purchase this on the company site. Regular pricing is gonna be around $300, but if you use the discount code that I'm including in the description below, it should bring it down to around $250. So definitely premium pricing on this, but it does feel pretty reasonable considering the features and the build quality that it has to offer, and it's also going to compare well against some of the other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Air Travel Pack 3, which has been one of my favorite one bag travel options for many years now. It was recently released in Ultra Fabric, but in any fabric that it's available, it's just a very versatile and durable travel backpack option. It comes in two sizes, a 35-liter size and a 28-liter size. Very solid build quality, great organizational layout, lots of pockets for all of your tech and everyday essentials. Dedicated and well-padded laptop compartment, comfortable harness system. It has the ability to add and removable waist belt if you want to have that. And so it checks off a lot of the same boxes as this one here. And if you're looking for something that offers a very modern, sleek style, and that's gonna give you a little bit of a different organizational layout in a couple of different sizes, and that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Tortuga 40-liter Travel Backpack Lite, which has been one of my favorite newer travel bags to come out over the past year. Tortuga actually has a couple of great options at the moment. Their Pro backpack is awesome. It has highly weather-resistant materials. It is a little bit heavier than this bag, and their Light backpack, which has a simplified layout, which I tend to like in travel bags as it just feels easier to pack. You don't have to think about as much, and it also helps with the weight. So they have a couple of quick access pockets, a dedicated laptop area that's suspended, padded, and then a large main compartment. It opens up like a suitcase. And Tortuga, of course, has some of the most comfortable harnesses on the market. Very, very nice to wear even when the bag is loaded out. And it just has a very solid build quality. They tried to make it a little bit lighter. It's still not super, super light, but it's streamlined, easy to pack, and if you're looking for something durable and comfortable, that's gonna be an excellent option to consider. The next bag this made me think of is the updated edition of the Packed Travel Backpack, which has a really unique layout. So it opens up like a suitcase, and you have the two dedicated compartments that you can use to organize your stuff. Laptop compartment is in the middle, which might not work for everybody, but it's a pretty interesting idea if you can get used to it. Very comfortable to wear. It has a really great pocketing layout on the exterior. The layout just works nicely. Everything has dedicated volume. And then the new edition can actually expand to give you a little bit of additional capacity. It's also designed to hold a packable day pack that Packed also sells. And so it's just a really solid option. It's got a very subdued aesthetic. And I've been a really big fan as I've used it more and more. It also comes in two different sizes. There's a 35-liter size and a 45-liter size. And so if you're looking for something with a more kind of simple aesthetic that's gonna offer a great build quality and a little bit of a different layout, then that's gonna be an excellent option to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the ULA Dragonfly, which I finally had a chance to test out. That one has a lot of fans. It's a very lightweight option with a simple layout, but as a travel backpack, it works very well. I can see why people like it so much. I tried out the 30-liter size on the channel. I believe they also now have a larger 36-liter size. And that 30-liter size was impressive for how small it actually looked. The main compartment was simple, but it can hold a couple of packing cubes and it didn't feel overly packed. It had some compression straps. And then the pocketing is simple but very effective. So you have quick access pocket on the front, one at the top. You have a pretty comfortable harness system. I don't think it's quite as comfortable as this one here. You have a dedicated laptop compartment. Again, the padding on that isn't gonna be quite as protective as what this bag has, but you know, the lightweight and small structure of the bag just makes it super versatile. It also has the dual external water bottle pockets, which work nicely. And so it's a simple, lightweight, very durable bag. The version that I featured was also in ultra fabric, so very durable, weather resistant. And you know, if you're looking for something ultra light that has a little bit of a technical flair and that's just gonna be super versatile, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the M38 holds up really well against all those options and in my opinion is one of the best new travel backpacks of the year. And if you're looking for something that's gonna be very comfortable, durable, that's gonna offer plenty of space and a nice organizational layout, then that's gonna be an excellent option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the M38 and how it compares to some of the other popular travel backpacks that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Minimal for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.